All right. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate y'all being here. Obviously jumping into a new week, a new opportunity. Coming off the game, Saturday. Disappointing outcome. Disappointing beginning to our season. Obviously we're not playing to the level that I believe we're capable of. There were some positives that did come of the game. I did think there were some improvements that are showing up. I thought defensively, the interior of our defensive front, you definitely played at a higher level, a lot more production. I thought you saw flashes there from the edge. You saw some young players that were able to get opportunity, and I thought did a good job. I thought Justin Cryer did some really good things there in the course of the game. KJ Kirkland, getting his first start, thought he did a nice job. Some things that he'll get to continue to improve upon, but it was great experience from him. We were better in stopping the run. Still some things, in third down situations where we can continue to improve. But I did think there was some positives, and you saw the defense get put in some tough situations. We had 3 turnovers in the first half. They were able to hold firm and obviously respond in a good fashion there. Offensively, there was it was obviously not the type of game that we needed, not the type of game that we expected, and we've got to continue to push and get better, and we got to be able to find rhythm. We got to be able to sustain drives on third downs. It's really been poor execution and production in that situation. Too many third down and long situations that we found ourselves in, and it was just a variety of different issues. And it takes 11 guys going out there, playing as one. Everybody's got a job. Everybody's got a responsibility. I'd love to say it was just this one situation or this one position, but there's we have to be better. And there's when you sit there and you go through practice and preparation, and there's you're not seeing the mistakes that are showing up there on game day for whatever the reason. Whether it's a route depth that we're emphasizing, or a certain technique or fundamental, or a certain call there in protection, and you make it through the week and it's pretty clean with the very similar looks of what we get on game day. But in the moment, we've got to be able to go out there and perform and execute. And like I said, it's every single person, myself, all of our coaches, our players, we all have to get better. And I can tell you that there's a lot of work that's going into that improvement, and but we've got to see it show up on game day, with everybody involved. But I think our team, they understand the expectation of what it's supposed to look like. Obviously our coaching staff understands that the standard we got to continue to push to. And I thought our guys came back yesterday, and they did go to work, and I've challenged them to we have to be different this week. We've got to continue to the values, the objectives, the standard of how we're operating, but we got to make sure that investment is even more. We got to continue to reflect on what we're doing throughout the course of the week. That's going to allow us to be better on game day, and we need to see that improvement. And we're playing a Cal team that they're undefeated up to this point of the season. They've been on the road. They won. They beat an SEC opponent on the road. This is a team that defensively they play fast. They are aggressive in how they attack. I mean, you can tell they're very well coached. I mean, offensively, they've got very versatile attack in the run game, and then a quarterback that's been really efficient and being able to make a lot of different throws. And obviously they're playing at a high level here at the early part of the season. So as we go into this week, we need to see that step. We need to see that improvement. And I'm definitely looking forward to how our guys approach the preparation, and excited for the opportunity that we have here this week.
All right, start with Ira on your right.
You guys obviously didn't have your tackles, your starting tackles on Saturday. Any update on the possibility of getting those guys back? And then also just overall the offensive line struggles? Like, is it more execution, techniques, or what are you seeing?
You know, so with the first question with the tackles, I mean, promising that we could get, you know, one, if not both, you know, and I say both, you know, obviously JB, we'll see how that's going to progress through the week. Darius, you know, that was something that happened in pregame, and so kind of unexpected. You know, we'll see where that goes as the week, you know, kind of progresses. But you know, I think when you got into the game there the other day, and you know, even here in the early part of the season, you know, there's been a couple different issues, and it's nothing that, you know, it's like I said earlier, it's not just saying, oh well, this is the 1 point or this is the one time. You know, there were a couple of communication issues there with a couple of variety of looks. I mean, you know, we got a lot of pressure and things trying to take away the run game. You know, there, you know, in certain looks on Saturday, and then, you know, there were a few times where, you know, we just, whether it was a miscommunication, misidentification, you know, across the board, where it just wasn't as clean as it needed to be, and when it comes to protection, I mean, that's everybody involved. When it comes to run game, obviously those you incorporate tight ends, running backs, tracks, all those different things, and so it's just. You know, we've got to be better, and I mean, I know it's a frustrating thing to sit there and look at, and it's, you know, it's frustrating for, you know, everybody involved, for those guys that are out there playing. I mean, they want more, they want to be better, they're working hard at it, but you know, it's some of the, you know, those little things that we have to improve on, and just the consistency of it, and you know, we're continuing to work as coaches to help put those guys in the best position, and you know, so we can go out there and you know, play fast and be able to utilize the techniques, fundamentals, and showcase the skills that you guys have.
Come over here to front row to Brendan.
You have an update on Shaheem Brown's availability, then Jalen Brown and Cam Riley as well.
Yeah, you know, expecting Shaheem to be available this week. You know, when it comes to Cam and Jalen, we'll see how they progress throughout the course of the week. You know, both those guys went down, you know, they're pretty early in the game, and you know, and it was a game where we had, you know, a lot of guys that had to step up due to, you know, different injuries, and you know, obviously, you know, that experience is you know, invaluable for those guys when you sit there and you look, or it's valuable for them to be able to go out there and be able to get those reps, and you know, to build their confidence in what they can do, and also to see some areas where they got to be able to improve. But you know, we'll see how those guys progress as the week goes on.
We'll go over to Kurt, front row on your right.
You've talked a few times recently about, you know, seeing success in practice not translate to game days yet for this team. I guess in your time as a coach, a head coach, a coordinator, a position coach, have you seen an extended stretch like this where you've seen that happen? And I guess I'm sure it's not a thing where there's one fix for every time that happens, but what have you seen fix similar issues before? You know, I mean,
it's you know, there's been times where, and whatever that the issue, you know, is, I mean, whether it's a you know, guys, a confidence issue at times, whether it's guys, you know, just you know, understanding issue. Sometimes you see some young players, just some of the finer details. You know, those things will show up, and you know, it's really you're working yourself through and finding the success, and you know, that's something that we need. You know, we need, you know, best players to go be best players. You know, guys that have you know, high ability and high potential need to go live up to it. And I mean, coaches need to make sure that we're putting them in the best position to be able to get out of you know, the challenging situations or you know, difficult experiences. You know, we got to help you know, pour into, build up, and you know, try to create some of those you know, successful moments. And you know, we're really kind of all in on that. But you know, it's challenging when you don't have success, whenever you know, or it's not going how you want it to go, and whether it's, you know, starting to try to do too much, starting to get, you know, tight in those moments. You know, it just, you're not playing fast and free, and so we've got to get ourselves, you know, through that, you know, obviously offensively, and you know, I really have a lot of confidence in these guys and the guys and what they can do, and so you know, I'm believing that is ahead, and we're going to continue to work hard every day to make sure that shows up.
All right, next will be Jordan, third row on your left.
Coach, after the game on Saturday, you said that you're going to be evaluating all aspects of the team. Do you expect to make any personnel changes this week, or will you be going with the same rotations that you used on Saturday?
you know, I mean, we'll continue to see what this week shows. And, you know, there is an expectation of guys to go out there and perform and respond and to improve and get better. And, you know, I'm going to work my butt off to make sure that we do everything in our power to win this game. That's what the job is. And, you know, that's what we're going to work towards. And, you know, I think you saw guys that get opportunities. You see guys that what they do with it. You're going to see what guys do in practice, and you know how they show that they are ready and prepared to go out there and make an impact. And then we'll be able to go from there.
We'll come back to Brendan on the front row.
How do you evaluate perimeter blocking, and when there are miscues, I guess, for things that?
Oh, it was bad. It was awful. It was the worst. Like, I mean, there's no easy way to put that. I mean, there's times that you stop the film and you see a third of the field with, you know, we have as many or more than what they have, and you get no production. That sucks. And so, I mean, it was a challenge. That was something that was issued, and, you know, we work really hard, and we've had a really good, you know, standard of how we've executed in that moment, in those moments in the past. But that was awful. Kind of direct response.
Next will be Peter, third row on your right.
Coach, seeing how DJ performed in the second half, do you feel like he kind of took another step forward?
You know, I mean, you know, looking at DJ, obviously it's been a challenging start for everybody, and you know, there are 11 guys that it takes 11, and you know, we all have a job, we all have a responsibility. I think when you look at the game, you know, there were some things that DJ, you know, did really well in putting guys in a position, and you know, trying to give opportunities. But you know, there was also a few times that, you know, we had some missed opportunities on his part, on you know, just in our overall execution. But you know, I am pleased with the way that he's preparing. I am pleased with the things that he's doing. You see the moments, all right, where he's giving us a chance. He's giving us an opportunity to have, you know, big plays. You know, I thought there was a lot of the reads and things that he needed to do in the position where he needed to put the ball that was positive. Like I said, there was a few times that, you know, we got to be better. And so, you know, I'm believing that we're going to see growth from every position that we have. We're going to see continued competition at that. But you know, I know what he's putting in, and you know, I see what he's seen, and then, you know, obviously, you know, we just all have to be more consistent about the execution of that, and you know, making sure that for this offense, you know, we get the spark that's necessary to go and be what I believe we can be.
We'll go back to Ira.
In some situations, like you talked about perimeter blocking, you do have some new players, but you also have some of those guys I think were experienced players. Like, how it's not a lack of understanding. Like, what responses do you get from guys?
You know, that's where, you know, guys that we've seen perform, guys that we know capabilities, and I know desires too. Like, I mean, we got a team, like, this is not a team that's just, you know, throwing their hands up and you know, oh, you know, they're working. I see it in their eyes. I've been a part of teams where, you know, you have the highest of high moments, and you got, you know, some of the lowest of low moments. We've been a part of that, and I've been a part of it through my coaching career. And you know, the eyes will usually lead you to what's in their heart. And when you see, you know, the approach, the work, the things that they're trying to do, it's not from a lack of desire, and I don't believe it's from a lack of ability, but you know, in those moments, you know, that's where we're working to see a disconnect, or working to fix the disconnect of execution of, you know, obviously, you know, making the play in the moment. And you know, that's one of the things that is, you know, frustrating, and it gets frustrating for, you know, players. It's frustrating for coaches, you know, all of us, and because I know what guys are capable of. And if I hadn't seen it, if it wasn't something that you know, that we've been able to do, then, you know, that would be something else. But you know, we just got to be able to go out there, you know, and, you know, cut it loose and play, and, you know, trust your techniques, trust fundamentals. If we're sitting there with it, if it's a finer detail, if it's a you know, obviously one of those, you know, specific things, you know, we got to trust that and go apply it. And you know, you got to build confidence through that, through the work that we have throughout the course of the week, and we got to build confidence of that for what we're doing out there in the course of the game. And so, that's where, like, I have confidence of what this is going to be. I'm not, I don't need a pep talk, and I mean, it's one of those things, like, I know where this is going to go. I know what it's going to be. It's just, we got to go out there and we got to get it done. And, like I said, I mean, I've got to help, create that, that confidence, and, we're going to continue to push the way we push in practice. We're going to continue to prepare, and, but we all have to be better. And that's what I've challenged our players with, is like, what is your week looking like? What is it leading up to the game? I mean, what's your, what are you allowing in? And that's one of the things we've talked about, bouncing back this week, and, but what are you putting in? And it's, it's how much film study, how much extra are you doing on your own? What are the things that you're doing to prepare yourself, that so in the moment, and you're thinking too much, and you're not trying to, because we have really tried to simplify even more things just to see guys play fast. But some of the day one basics that, when you show up and you see, a hesitation, or you see, or a mistake shows up, I mean, those are the things that, I know we're better, and we got to go be better. And, for coaches, everybody involved, just helping guys, take that step to where we can go out there and play the level that we're capable of.
All right, stay there for Leo.
Coach, how did you evaluate the defensive line's performance against Memphis on Saturday? It looked like there were some improvements, and especially how did you evaluate Joshua Farmer's performance?
Yeah, Josh was one of the guys I thought, as I said in the opening, it was, I thought that was a step forward. And I thought you saw Josh, obviously Josh missed all spring. It had some limitations there in fall camp, but you start to see, that, the strike, the explosiveness, some of the things that we're accustomed to seeing from him. I thought you felt that impact. I thought Darryl did some good things. You saw that interior really work. Being able to work. I thought that guys on the edge. There were some flash plays. There were some good moments. I think we can still have more there. That can show up. But like I said, I thought there were some real quality plays and quality steps that we're going to be able to build upon there from Saturday.
All right, we'll go to Corey, third row on the right.
Mike, obviously when you've had so much success as a play caller and just an offensive coach in general, going back to Arizona State and what you did at Memphis, what you've done here, excuse me, getting choked up, is there a chance?
I can, trust me, watching what we've been doing, I can understand that, yes.
Is how much does the confidence in your own self waver at all when you have a start like this, or do you go back to all the success you've had in the past and say we'll get through this? Because I doubt you've ever had a start quite like this offensively, where it's been so bad for 3 games, but you've also had so much success in your career.
Well, it's still every team is unique to itself, and that's the challenge to every coach is, are you, and that's why I can sit in front of you and tell you, man, I haven't been good enough. And I tell our players, it is my job for when we step on the field, for them to go out there and to be able to showcase who they are, what they are, the identity of the offense, the identity of defense, special teams. I mean, that has to show up. And, right now we've had an offense that in these first couple games, I mean, we haven't had that identity. And that goes back to me. And now, is my confidence, I am ultimately confident in ability of what I see, what I believe we can do, and helping put guys in a better position. My confidence is not wavering when it comes to that, but it's still about the execution. And that's where when I can firmly stand in front of our players and say, look, I will be better. And it's through the work, it's through making sure that the things that we see that we're trying to do, I mean, that's gotta we've got to be able to translate that. And so, we're all in this thing together, but, for however it sounds, I mean, I know my capabilities as well. And, I'm very confident in what that will be.
Stay there for Peter.
Coach, thoughts about having Alex Atkins back, having him back for the Cal game coming up?
No, I mean, Alex, he's so important to this football team, and it's been unfortunate, the circumstance, that we've had these last 3 games, but we're grateful to for his presence. And, obviously a great coach, what he brings there, every day, but, especially on game day, that presence, the another set of eyes that, see things as the game is progressing and evolving. And, obviously just, he's a leader of our offense too. I mean, that's, in that role, I mean, that's, he has a big stamp on all things that we do. And so, yes, I'm over there. I do call the plays, but I mean, he is such a strong presence when it comes to all things that we're doing. So definitely glad about, having him back. And, I think it's going to be, obviously a benefit for all of us, having him back on the sideline.
We'll go back to Jordan on the left.
Coach, you talk about the special teams being an identity unit for your team. Can you just talk about the fumble and the offside call and kind of how disappointing that was for you to watch?
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought the offside call was awful, because, the ball moved, the guy's keying the ball, and, for whatever that is, that's, it's a redshirt freshman that's keying the football, the ball goes up it's about to snap, so he steps. So I'm not, I'm upset about that call, but, I thought it was a terrible call. And, but for the kid, he's doing exactly what I'm telling him to do. You see the ball move, you stay, you go. And so that play went from 4th and 8. We're going to get the ball back to 4th and 3. They went for it. They converted. They did a good job on their part of it. The fumble on the punt return. That's one of those situations. Got a very talented young freshman that is doing what we asked him to do. He's communicating, the fair catch. You saw one of our players heard it, the other one did not, and so he gets blocked into it, the ball hits, and obviously an unfortunate play that shows up. And it's something that you work, you rep. It's a daily focus for us, but it's something that we can continue to grow up, to grow on, and making sure that all guys are getting that communication in those situations. But that was just an unfortunate play in a big moment.
All right, we got time for 2 more. We'll go back to Ira.
We haven't got been around Luke as much, but we've definitely been around Brock, and we saw him kind of embrace the opportunity last year. When things aren't working on the offense, or do you have to manage? I'm sure their feelings are, hey, we could do something. We could help this team when we get out there. Do you have to manage that, or is that just life? You got to deal with it.
No, it's it's all things. I want that, and every player that's not on the field, I hope they see themselves as the X factor of what's gonna be the difference in a spark, in a change, in anything that could happen, because you want that type of confidence in it. And my challenge to everybody on this team, you continue to prepare for your moment. There on Saturday, Jalen Early was not expecting to start the game, right? It was not an expectation, right? But in pregame, he became the starter, right? His preparation, all the things that he did, what went into that. That's, you never know when your moment's gonna be thrust upon you. Are you ready for it? Are you showing it in practice? Are you putting yourself in that position that continues to fight for those opportunities and those reps? And ultimately, that's where I love what I'm seeing from Brock. And I said it after the game. I have a lot of confidence in that quarterback room and those guys of what they're doing and how they're continuing to push. And it's going to be a daily push from all of them to go show that where they are, and obviously if the opportunity presents itself, what it's going to look like. And so but I'm definitely pleased with them in that, and I both think they have that edge of what they can do and what it can look like.
All right, last one will be Chris here on the front row.
You mentioned trying to create a spark on offense. I know obviously for the offense to be good, it's a matter of doing it consistently the right way. But is there a way to try to create a spark in a short-term window, doing something different, i.e. Wildcat in the past, things like that? Yeah, there are. There's certain things that you look for, because you got to be able to say, well, why this? You can always have a thought or a suggestion, but it's got to be able to point to. You got to be able to answer that question of why. How is this putting us in a better position to be successful? If
if you're getting cover zero looks and everybody's down and pinching all gaps, like sometimes Wildcat good, bad, indifferent, like, sometimes going into empty and spreading them out, why are we doing that? What's the benefit that we're gonna see from trying to create a different spark? I mean, not the biggest, trick play person in the world, but, a couple weeks back, I mean, there was an opportunity. We saw a look that we liked, and we tried to take advantage of it. It did provide a spark. We had one of the vertical shots there on a PN10 the other day. It provided a spark. I mean, it's, we definitely are looking for all opportunities to provide sparks for this team. And sometimes it might be play, it might be concept, it might be personnel, whatever that's got to be. We are gonna continue to evaluate that and look at it. But I think more than anything else, because it's real easy to say, well, just change this, yes, or let's just do this. But if you can't answer the why, right? If it's not something that is where you see that it's going to be better, it's going to give you that competitive advantage, or it's going to give you this, then those are things that you just now you're just throwing up in the air and you're kind of grab back into things. We spend a lot of time working, practicing, preparing, trying to put our guys in the best position from what we're going to ask them to do. But like I've said, we got to do a better job of doing that and of the execution of it when it comes to game day. So we are, like I said, Saturday, we're evaluating all things to be better, and we're going to continue to do that in all aspects of our presentation. Continue to develop the personnel and go out there and play better.
All right, thank you, Coach.